So Star Wars Battlefront 2 has seen some changes to the hero prices recently, and with that, it has become a little bit harder to win on the attack. So today, I thought we would just go over how you can win on attack. Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about, of course, winning on the attack. Just want to remind everybody, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and comment. It greatly helps the channel. Any interaction you give, a comment, thumbs up, either way, any interaction is great. So let's get into the attack. So first off, the attack is always divided into a certain number of phases, either 3 or 4 depending on the map. We're going to go over just a 3-phase map, just to make it easier for everyone. So let's start with phase 1. Now, if you get a Walker Escort, you're in luck, because the attacking team on a Walker Escort does not really need to do anything at all. The other team is basically going to let you through to phase 2. Now, if you're playing anything except for a Walker Escort, make sure not to interact with the objective too much. You have 100 tickets, and it's very important that you get down to 30 tickets before the big push. I see this a lot in the lobbies, where you get that huge push initially at 30 tickets or so. You get 50 tickets at the end of each phase, and it's always great to start the next phase with 80 tickets as opposed to a full 100. So don't interact too much with the objective. Even though it gives you a ton of points, you need to make sure that you get the points for that hero. So when the phase first starts, when phase 1 begins, make sure that you pick the officer. From there, you automatically want to recharge as much as possible your fellow teammates. Don't worry too much if they've used abilities or need a recharge. The main thing you want to look at is the number that you can hit, because the more people you recharge, the more points you're going to get. Now that you're an officer, you also want to drop the turret as much as possible, and then always roll backwards, and then just kind of hang out behind it. You don't want to push forward too much, because you want to get down to those 30 tickets on phase 1, and the main game is to get that hero. So drop the turret, it's going to do all the shooting for you. Just kind of hang back around your team with your recharge and your officer's presence. Get those battle points as fast as possible until you can get that hero. Now, you have a hero phase 1. It's very important that you live with a hero, because the heroes are only good if you live. So if you pick a lightsaber hero, it's usually the best if you can hang out behind as many troopers as possible, so that way you don't run the risk of getting any damage taken to you. Now, you're not really going to get a whole lot of kills that way, but that doesn't really matter, because you just want to hang out, hit the emotes or your lightsaber button a lot. You don't really want to push the objective too much, unless of course you're at 30 tickets, then do it. So let's move on to phase 2. Now, the number 1 rule of phase 2 is not to touch the objective at all. We're aiming for that 10 ticket point, and then once you have 10 tickets, boom, everybody rush the objective. Phase 2, we want to make sure it goes into overtime every single time. There's no reason to end phase 2 early, because everyone needs to make sure that they have enough points going into phase 3 so you can do phase 3 correctly. So what do you do in the meantime if you're waiting for the 10 ticket point? So what you want to do is you want to hold the choke points as strong as possible and hold them no matter what. So find the closest choke point to your spawn, or whatever side you came up on, the left or the right, and you want to find the one that everyone is sitting at. There's a couple of ones that have flanking routes, like on the Death Star, you can flank to the left or to the right. Don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you go exactly where everyone else is and just spray down the choke point as much as possible. Put everything you've got into it. Now, you could flank and try to get the objective, but again, we want 10 tickets left so that everyone has the points for heroes. Now, let's say that your team is moving forward, and you guys are pushing the objective. You're almost to one of the points that you need to interact with or secure. Make sure that if you die, you don't run back in to where your team actually is doing the fighting. You want to wait back at the choke point again. So you could run in when you respawn and re-support and reinforce your team and allow you to push forward and take the objective early, but we don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you go back to the choke point that you were standing at before the team decided to push forward, and just start shooting again. That way, everyone who comes up behind you thinks that you're engaging in the enemy, and they'll just go ahead and start shooting down the choke point as well, so we can start that cycle over again. Now, granted, all of your teammates forward are going to die and come back, but that's perfectly fine, because that choke point is the most important part of this phase. Now, if someone on your team is foolish enough to go ahead and start interacting with the objective or start securing the objective, you want to watch the timer or the completion on it, because as soon as it starts to get close to the end of phase 2, everyone needs to respawn themselves so that they can make sure to get a hero at the start of phase 3. So if you see that someone is interacting with the data center and it's ticking through and the objective is almost completely taken or finished, make sure you hit the options button. If you're on PlayStation, go down to the respawn and just go ahead and do that. And then that way you can go over and hover over your hero and hit that X button or select button as many times and as quickly as possible until it becomes available and the phase completes. So now you're on phase 3. If you did it right again on phase 2, you're going to have a hero right at the start of phase 3 because you respawned yourself, you're ready to go, you got your hero out, and now if you did that, you're going to notice that you're the only person there, or at least you know, your 3 other hero buddies and maybe 5 troopers or so. I mean, you have a team of 20, but it's okay. It's all right. The 10 of you've got this. Because the other 10, you need to be waiting for those heroes to die. You need to be on that spawn screen. You need to just be waiting. You have your 4,500 battle points finally, or your 6,000 battle points. So make sure that you're over the hero that you want to play and you're just hitting that X as fast as possible, trying to make sure as soon as the hero dies, you've got that hero. Now this is the most fun phase because before, you know, you started with 100 tickets in phase 1, then you're down to 80 because you guys wait to push with 30 tickets on phase 2, and then on phase 3, you know, you want to make sure that you have the hardest time possible. So since we waited till 10 tickets, you guys are now at 50. So you have 50 deaths in order to take this objective and win the game. Now, if you followed all of these steps, everyone should be able to cycle through the heroes by the time phase 3 completes. And really, we all know that's how you really play Star Wars Battlefront 2. So obviously, I am joking in all of this. This is what I see happening all the time in Galactic Assault, which is why I'm getting so annoyed playing it. And I've gone over to Strike. It's a little bit better, but it's pretty much the same on the ticket counts. But yeah. That is basically a summary of Galactic Assault in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I hope you guys don't mind the joke. Make sure to hit that like button if you did. If you hated it, hit the thumbs down. It's alright. And then hit the subscribe and notification button so you know when new videos come out. Just a reminder, we are going to be playing Battlefield all week on the streams. You'll probably see Battlefield videos on Friday and next Monday. And then we're going to go into Spider-Man the week after that. So that is all I have. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I'll see you in game.